We need to talk about the gap, or as I like to call it, the orgasm gap. In heterosexual relationships, men are having significantly more orgasms than women. And it's not because women are harder to please, despite what you may think. It's because we've built an entire culture of intimacy around his climax, not her experience. Hey everyone, I'm Megan Sharpe, certified health coach and sex and intimacy coach. I help women and couples rediscover intimacy by reconnecting with their bodies, healing shame, and building confidence in the bedroom. Because the truth is, orgasm isn't the finish line. It's part of a much bigger story. In this episode, we're unpacking the orgasm gap, what it is, why it exists, and what you can do to close it. Whether you're in a relationship, dating, or exploring your body on your own. Culturally, sex has been defined by a very narrow script. Intercourse starts, he finishes, the end. But for many women, orgasm doesn't happen that way. It often requires more time, more buildup, more clitoral stimulation, and far more emotional safety than is built into the default script. The orgasm gap isn't a reflection of women being difficult. It's a reflection of a system that hasn't prioritized their pleasure. And when women feel left out, they shut down, not just sexually, but emotionally. This results in less connection, less initiation, and a belief that pleasure isn't for them. And nobody wants that. When orgasm feels inaccessible, many women internalize it as failure. They fake it, avoid physical connection, or lose interest altogether. Not because they don't want pleasure, but because they've stopped believing that it's available to them. Closing the orgasm gap isn't just about better sex. It's about equity, empowerment, and healing the relationship we have with our own bodies. I had a client come to me recently feeling frustrated, confused, and honestly really ashamed. And that was really sad. She could orgasm on her own, no problem. But with her partner, it just wasn't happening. And every time it didn't, she walked away feeling like something was wrong with her, like her body wasn't cooperating, like she was broken. She was questioning whether they were compatible partners at all. But when we started peeling back the layers, it wasn't about her ability to orgasm. It was about the context in which sex was happening. Their intimacy was focused almost entirely on his pleasure and what he wanted. There was little foreplay, barely any clitoral stimulation, and zero conversation about what she needed. It was like they were following a script written by someone who had no idea what her body was or actually how it worked. And I see this a lot. Individuals are following scripts of what they've seen or heard elsewhere, and they've completely forgotten how important learning from your actual partner really is, because that's who we're connecting with. This realization changed everything. She started getting curious with herself and with her partner. They slowed things down. She started speaking up, quietly at first, but then more confidently about what felt good, what didn't, and what she needed more of. They took the pressure off of penetration being the main event and began exploring pleasure as a whole experience, not just a race to orgasm. And then what happened? Her experience completely transformed, and so did his. Not just physically, though yes, she was finally orgasming with her partner, but emotionally too. She felt seen, respected, reconnected with her own body, and their relationship deepened. Because pleasure, when it's mutual and intentional, builds intimacy, not just arousal. So first things first. If you've ever felt like you're the problem because you're not orgasming during partnered sex, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You're not broken. The orgasm gap is real and it's not personal. Study after study shows that heterosexual sex, women orgasm way less often than men. And it's not because we don't know how. It's because of the model we've been handed. It wasn't designed with us in mind, which brings me to the next point. Clitoral stimulation is not optional. Most women don't orgasm from penetration alone. That's just biology. So if external stimulation, touch, oral, toys is what gets you there, then that should be part of the default, not the bonus round. Let's normalize asking for what actually works. And also, let's zoom out on how we define sex. Penetration isn't the main event for everyone. And an incredible amount of pleasure can come from things like touch, eye contact, breath work, rhythm, pressure, real conversation, you name it. But when we let go of the idea that orgasm has to happen a certain way or on a timeline, we create space for way more connection and way less pressure. And last, but maybe most important, talk about it. I know it's easier said than done, but you are allowed to ask for what you want. You're allowed to slow things down, to guide, to say, try this instead. That's not being demanding. It's being there in your body, in your power, and in partnership. And when that communication becomes a two-way street, watch out because things will get spicy. If you've ever felt frustrated, unseen, or unfulfilled in your sex life, I want you to know that you're not alone and you're not asking for too much. You're asking for what's normal, natural, and needed. Let's rewrite the story of pleasure together. You can drop an anonymous question using the link in the show notes or DM me directly. Don't forget to follow me on my social media platforms for more tips and insights on this topic because we need to talk about it more.